Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Teaching English on Dروس Mega Goal 3. Let's start our class by reviewing the plan. First, we're going to make a revision on living off the grid, the previous lesson, which was reading. We just revised some vocabulary in a context. And next, we're going to introduce writing through reading. We're going to read a passage under the title, Going Green. And after that, we're going to review some vocabulary from this short reading passage. And also, we're going to answer some questions on this reading. And at the end, also, we will review vocabulary from the reading. Okay? Now we are at step number 8 in Unit 6, which is under the title Going Green. And activity number 10 is writing. And as we always see, that writing is following reading, and reading is the main source for training and improving your skills in writing. Okay, these are the 2 pages that we are going to cover in our class today. They are on page 90 and 91, and here you can see also the QR that can lead you to get the audio for this passage, and also can get some of the materials for this class. Okay, let's start by making a revision on the vocabulary that we used in our previous lesson, and these words also some of them are going to be mentioned in our class today. First, we're talking about developed nation. When we say developed nation, what does this phrase mean? Let's see it in a text. The linked system that supplies electricity in developed nations. Okay, the linked system that supplies electricity and developed nation. That means developed nations are the nations, it's a noun of course, and it's a nation with a lot of industrial activity and where people generally have high income. Okay, the opposite of developed nations or developed countries is developing country. If you're talking about the countries that are already developed, you say developed nations or developed countries. The one that are still want to develop more, we call them developing, okay, developing countries. And here we're talking also about hook up. What's the meaning of hook up? If your house is hook up, that means, let's read the example and you will try to guess the meaning. As we told you before, it is very important skill to guess or to predict the meaning from a context, and this is a very, very important skill. Homes that are off the grid are not hooked up to the local power supply. That means if you are living off the grid, that means you are not hooked up. There is no electricity wire coming to your house. What is the definition? If you want to define or to explain the meaning of hook up, also this is another important skill to define things and to explain what things are. Look here, to connect to an electricity supply, a telephone network, or the internet. That's the meaning of hookup. That means you are connected through wires or even wirelessly. Okay. Now we're talking about consume. Consume, this is very important word. We will use it also in our writing today, inshallah. Consume, let's see it in a text so that you can guess or predict the meaning. They produce all of the energy they consume. So when they live off the grid, that means they are consuming their own energy. Okay, they produce their own energy. So consume means, let us have it in a definition here, to use something such as fuel, energy, money, or time, especially in large quantities. That's the meaning of consume. The noun is consumption. Okay, and the one who consumes things, we call him consumer. Okay, here we're talking also about very important term. Also, we will use it, inshallah, in our class today. Renewable energy. Okay, that is the alternatives. If you use other ways to produce or to generate energy, that means you are using renewable energy. Let's use it in a text. Wind and solar power are forms of renewable energy sources. So if you use wind and if you use sun and solar system, that means you are using renewable energy. That is this kind of energy doesn't affect the environment and doesn't harm it. Okay, what is the meaning of renewable energy? Energy that is produced using the sun or wind rather than using fuel such as oil or coal. Okay. Here we're talking about solar panel. Okay, you see this picture. It is for a solar panel. How do you find it in a passage? In a sentence, sorry. Buildings that use solar power have solar panels on the roof or near the building. These are used to generate electricity. We call them solar panel. If you want to tell what is a solar panel is, somebody asks you, or if you are writing to define solar panel, what can you define it? How can you define it? You can say a device that changes energy from the sun into electricity. Okay, since it is a noun, as I told you always, you need to bring another noun that modifies or explains or classify what the noun that you are defining is. Like here, solar panel, you say a device. Okay, that is something we use to generate electricity. Okay, and after you bring the noun, you use a relative clause, that is a device that changes energy. Okay, and now we're moving to the last word of today that is going to be used in our class and writing also, called detached. What is the meaning of detached? Let's read it in a sentence now. Passive forms, okay, this is in grammar. Passive forms are used to present information or facts in a detached manner. One of the usage of passive forms is to get the one who uses the passive form away from his emotion or from his feelings. Okay, so if you are detached, that means you are far away from your emotions. Look at the picture here. Here, the emotion or the word that is written on the screen, and the man is far away from it. So when you write the body paragraphs, you don't need to put your emotions or your feelings in these paragraphs. This is very important, and instructions about our rules of writing. Sorry. Okay. How do you define it? To say not emotionally involved in a situation. Okay. So we use passive forms to get our emotions or our feelings or our views also away from our writing. Okay. And now we are going to introduce a reading passage, a very short reading passage. It's not as long as the previous passage that we read before. This reading passage is going to be in 3 paragraphs. It is very easy one. And here, this reading passage is going to be divided also into 3 paragraphs only. The first one is introduction, as we said earlier. And the second one is the body paragraph, only 1 body paragraph. And the last one is a conclusion. What is it about? It is about how to go green. Okay, how to tell us about your experience in going green, and how you also try to avoid harming the environment. Okay, so it's mainly about packaging. The writer of this passage is telling us about how to avoid packaging and how to recycle things that if you buy something packaged. Okay, like this one, it's packaged, and here also there are bags. Okay, and these things consume the natural resources, and they harm also the environment. Okay, and now let's analyze this reading passage that is going to be in 3 paragraphs. Okay, it is an essay. Since it is more than 2 paragraphs, it is considered as an essay. Okay, how many paragraphs? There will be 3 paragraphs. Okay, and also there will be 36 lines in this reading passage, and there will be 180 words. Okay, this is a very short reading passage, and usually when you are asked to write, you will ask approximately from 100 to 200 word passage, okay, or essay. Okay, and here it is a very good example for you to improve your writing through this reading. Okay, before we go to reading, let's make brainstorming about things that we need to know, and how to analyze this reading, and how to be critic, so that when it comes to us to write, that will help us to write better, and to get the rules correctly, and to follow the rules of writing correctly. Now here, how important is packaging for us? For you as a consumer. Okay, we are all consumers, and how important packaging is to you, to me, to everybody. And when you buy something, is it important or to you to buy something that is packed well, and does it persuade you, does it motivate you to buy things just from their appearance, from their package, or not? Okay, are you attracted to things that are packaged nicely? If it is packaged nicely, do you buy it just in order just for because it is only packaged well or not? Okay, think of that and tell us why or why not. Because when it comes to you to write, you will try to give your opinion well, and you will tell us about your experience. Okay, read the essay and find out the following. When you read the essay, you need to find out about what did the writer's family use to do that was not green. Okay, the writer of this passage is telling us about his experience and what is the thing that he used to do, but now he's not doing it. Okay, and it was not green. He was sorry for doing that because he was not green, and he was not working well, and he is not helping in trying to solve the problem of pollution and recycling. Okay, next, what did they do to change that practice? At the end, this man or the writer of this paragraph told us that he had changed his practice and he improved it to another thing. What is it? You will find out when you read. Okay, what were the benefits? What were the benefits of changing this practice, this bad practice, to a better practice? And also, were there any disadvantages? You will also try to find out if there were any disadvantages of this practice or this action that he makes. Next, what is your view as a reader? Whenever you write, you need to put yourself as a reader, so that what the reader usually wants to know, and what the reader wants to learn, and what the reader is going to be happy about. This is very important. Now, he's asking you here, are ideas and information presented clearly? This is very important. When you want to read something, you need to read something organized, and something is explained very well. So as a writer, you need to do the same also. But here is asking you, are you satisfied about this reading? And are ideas and information presented clearly, and you can understand things, and everything is happy and satisfying? Next, does the writer provide explanations, examples, or reasons directly? When you write, you need to give explanations, you need to give examples. Okay. Does the writer do this thing, or are there any explanations or examples? You will find out, and you will tell us also when we finish reading. Does the essay fulfill your expectations in relation to the title? Before you start reading any article or any essay, you look at the title. Is there any link between the title and the essay? Are they matching each other? Is there any relation? This is very important. Also, you need to criticize this, and you need also to find out if it is happened or not. Okay, now we're talking about the paragraphs, as you can see here. Paragraph number 1, paragraph number 2, and paragraph number 3. What is going on here? Look at the essay again and write which person is used in each paragraph. Okay, we told you that the writer need to avoid telling us about his impressions or about his emotions in the body paragraph. He is allowed to, or she is allowed to tell us in the first paragraph, which is introduction, and in the last paragraph. Now let's see how the writer is telling us. Look at the essay again and write which person is used in each paragraph. I, you, he, or she, and so on. Okay, what is the effect? Paragraph number 1, you can notice here I and we, because he's telling us about his experience. The second paragraph, only we, because he's talking as human being or as experienced people. And paragraph number 3 also he used we. You can notice these pronouns. And also number 4 here, notice which paragraphs do the following. It is very clear now that we divide the 3 paragraphs into introduction, body paragraph, and conclusion. Which paragraph provide the writer's view and or opinion? What is which one? It is number 3, because in the conclusion you are allowed as a writer to write your opinion and view. Next, provide which paragraph provide objective information and view. Okay, just objective information, that means away from your opinion or from your feelings or emotions. That is paragraph number 2, which is the body paragraph. Number 3, which paragraph set the scene. Okay, this is very important. As we told you earlier, any introductory paragraph should be a general image about what the paragraph is going to be about. So we call it, the writer is setting his scene, or the general scene for the whole article. Okay, so it is in paragraph number 1, which is the introduction. So paragraph number 1 sets the scene and writer's view. You are allowed to write your view and to set the scene and to draw an image, so the reader will be involved in your writing. Paragraph number 2, objective information. Okay, just objective information without your feelings or without your opinion even. Number 3, you are allowed to write objective informations and your view also. Okay, always in the introduction and in the conclusion, you can write your view or opinion. But in the middle paragraph or the body paragraph, whether it is one paragraph or other ones, it is just for objective information, okay, or facts. Number 5, are there any passive forms? What are they used for? Does the writer or did the writer, when you finish reading, write passive forms? Okay, the passive forms are the forms that are the opposite of active. Like if you say I drive a car, that means an active form. If you say a car is driven, that means you don't care about who did this action. So did the writer use a passive form or not? Passive forms, what are they used for? Passive forms are used to present information, facts, in an objective way. As we said, objective way, no need for your emotions, and also in a detached manner. You present it in a detached manner. That means your views or your opinions is away from your writing, just only objective information. Okay, let's take example from this reading. We have 2 examples. Look at this sentence here. Is it actually recycled? So the writer is telling us, okay, he's the one who recycled, but he doesn't care about what he did. So he says here in a form of interrogative form, a question form, is it actually recycled? So this is a passive form. He's asking. He doesn't care about who recycled it. He just cares about the action itself. The second example here, resources are invested. So here we're talking about resources that they are invested. He doesn't care who invests these resources. Okay, so this is also another form of passive. Number 6, how are ideas and facts connected? Provide example from the text. Okay, when you write, you need to use transitional phrases. You need to use also conjunctions. You need to use also lots of things like linking words and so on. Did the writer use that? Yes, he did. He used but. Okay, this is called a conjunction. Also, he used a transitional phrase. On the other hand, you can use it, and also you can use the sentence adverb. If you still remember, we studied it in Unit 2. When you want to give or impose your opinion or your view about something, you can use the sentence adverb. Like you say, unluckily, and you tell what you want to say. Like saying luckily, frankly, and you start your sentence. These are called sentence phrase. So we can consider it also as linking words. Did he use combined clauses and sentences? Yes, he did. Look at the sentence here. Are invested in packaging as a way of making the product more attractive. We are not sure it is always effective. Okay, this is an example. Also, did he use pronouns and he refers the pronoun to the right persons? Yes, he did. He used we, I, and it also. Okay, now we are coming to the 3 paragraphs, the essay of 3 paragraphs that we are going to study today. And this is a good example for you. If you want, inshallah, to write at the end of this class, you will be given an assignment to write. Okay, now this paragraph number 1, and as always, paragraph number 1 is an introduction. Just read it and try to understand the difficult word from the context. Okay?
Page 90. 10. Writing. Going green.
I realized how sensible going green was when I started noticing the amount of waste accumulated from all the packaging. We're a family of 3, and we manage to accumulate a bag full of recyclable waste every day. We are careful to use a special disposal unit for recyclable materials, but we are not sure it is always effective. is it actually recycled?
Okay, so it is clear now that he is not happy about packaging, and he thinks, in his opinion, that packaging is destroying the environment or affecting the environment badly. Now we're moving to paragraph number 2, which is the only body paragraph. Okay, and here the writer is talking about something else. You will learn and find out what is he talking about. Okay.
We decided to search for options. We found out that there were many stores near the central market that sold goods by weight out of large canisters or burlap bags. Rice, beans, flour, sugar, oil, butter, cheese, and a lot more are available off the counter free of packaging. When we compared prices, we decided to never look back.
Okay, so he found a solution for the problem of packaging, and he is happy about that. And in the last paragraph also, that is paragraph number 3, he concludes his ideas and he gives his opinion and his recommendations regarding packaging. Let's listen and read.
A lot of time, money, and resources are invested in packaging as a way of making the product more attractive for consumers. Glossy wrappers, beautifully designed boxes, vacuum-wrapped coffee, plastic containers, colorful lids, and a lot more have a magnetic effect on buyers. We, on the other hand, have to label and fill our own containers before we can put away our shopping. But we make better use of cupboard space, spend a lot less, and protect the environment. You should try it.
Okay, so here it is clear that he finds out that packaging is a very big problem regarding consumers, also affecting consumers and affecting the environment also. Okay, now your task now, your turn to write. This is the assignment to do it yourself and to apply all these skills that you learned in the reading and in the writing also section of today. Here you are asked to write a letter to the editor of your local newspaper, complain about your neighborhood and suggest how it could go green with a partner, discuss the items below. Okay, you will write about your neighborhood. Of course, you find some practices that are not good in your neighborhood. You need to write about it, and you will find also a chart. Now you will fill it, and you will learn also how to make them in full sentences. Think about things you do that are environmentally harmful. Your behavior, your habits. There are some habits that you do that affect the environment. Think of them, and what do other people in your neighborhood do? What can your local council do to help you go green? Okay, you will advise and you will tell your partners, your friends how to act correctly, and also the council, which is the municipality, how they help in protecting the environment and what are the actions they need to do. Use also the chart to make notes and then use it to write your letter. Exchange draft, essay, and edit. Okay. Number 5, improve, change, and rewrite. That is the last step. When you finish writing, you can exchange it with your friend and let your friend help you correcting. So this is the chart that you need to fill in. It is about environmentally harmful practices, go green practices, and steps our local council can take to help. Before you write your complaint, you need to fill in this to make your article or your essay or your letter better. Okay, let's take this example: environmentally harmful practices, go green practices, and we'll talk about steps our local council can take to help. Let's take, for example, this one. This is one of your colleagues answered it, and we gave it to you as an example. Overuse of plastic bags. This is the the environmental harmful practice. Okay, how can we go green with that? We're using tote bags instead for grocery. Okay, so you can use things that are recyclable and reusable. Okay, what do you want the local council to do? Charging for plastic bags. Okay, also we have another environmentally harmful practice: no recycling of waste. And you can check here for go green practices, and also you can find also about this one also the steps that our local council can take to help. This is an example. You can pause the screen now and find out about your friend's writing, okay, or your colleague writing. Okay, these are you will have 5 practices, and you will have also for each one of them Go Green practices and the steps that the council need to take. Okay, and here is the example of writing. You can also stop at it and find it also on your book, page 91, and you can imitate some of the sentences or expressions that are used. Okay, the last part is about when you write a formal letter of complaint. If you want to write a complaint, there are some rules that you need to follow that you will find it in the writing corner. What are the things? You need to, when you start writing a complaint, you need to open appropriate way, like saying, "Dear editor, dear Mr. Smith." This is very important because it is a formal writing. Okay, state the reason why you are writing and give a brief overview of the situation. You need to be direct and to give a brief explanation for what you are, what the problem is, and also you need to tell why you are writing, for what. This is very important. Also, you need to use phrases to introduce and list additional points, like, for example, if you say "first of all," "moreover," "furthermore," and other transitional phrases that we told you earlier. Okay, use phrases to offer suggestions and solutions to problems, like "I suggest that." You still remember when we told you the expressions for suggestions? "I suggest that it would be a good idea if one solution is," and so on. Okay, and the last point here, sign off appropriate way. When you finish your writing or you're writing your letter of complaint, you can use these expressions like saying "with best wishes," okay, "yours sincerely," or "sincerely yours," or "yours faithfully." And that's all for our class today. We're happy that you're watching us. Thank you for watching, and see you inshallah in our next episode. Goodbye.